Hey guys, it's been a minute. I actually needed a minute. I needed a long minute with everything that's going on, but I feel like I'm finally ready to have this discussion. And it's so funny because really what I did was a lot of procrastination. I was getting very clear on what I wanted to say, what I wanted to share, how I could educate you. I had all these books and educational movies and websites for you to go to in this, elaborate presentation, and I've like pushed all that by the wayside and just decided to start here because I believe by procrastinating, there's actually a book called oh my gosh, I can't remember, but basically talking about the benefits. Procrastinating on Purpose, I think, is the title of the book. But when you do that, sometimes things resolve themselves, and I think that there's so much information out there for you guys right now, so I don't have to go through that whole presentation and share any of that. Like, if you want to know a great book or a great documentary, I'm more than happy to help, or a great organization, I'm more than happy to share that information with you. But now that we're here and I feel like some of this energy has began to shift, I just want to share with you my perspective on all of this, how I've dealt with all of this, and just be honest. So this is probably gonna be one of the longest videos. There's kind of gonna be a lot of rambling, but there's also going to be some good tidbits in here. I'm going to try to get those in there as well. So when this all happened with Floyd, I have to tell you, I was pissed. And I wasn't pissed just because of another senseless death. I was pissed because I didn't understand why nobody had really woken up before this. It was so obvious to me after years and years and years of seeing this and experiencing this and watching all of these senseless deaths over the year happen. It was just so obvious to me. And even when I would try to post stuff on Facebook, I'm like, once they see this, once they see what these police are doing, people are going to get hip and they're going to understand what's really going on. And I would post something and I'd get like 2 comments. And I'm just like, okay, people just don't effing care. They just don't care. So I had to figure out different ways to work through this for myself, as most Black people do. We all have our own different ways of working through this and dealing with this. And that's really what I had to do. And so what really happened to me in the beginning of this is there was a lot of anger, but there was a lot of moments of just no energy. I could just feel the pull of everybody's energy because of all of the trauma, all of the fear, all of the frustration, all of the anger that's going on. And as a light worker, that is what I do. I feel the energy, and it sucked because I didn't have any flippin' energy left. And so I would just literally sometimes be doing something and I'd have to stop and go take a nap. And I was pissed because I wanted to blame you people. I'm going to get a little dramatic with this, a little theatrical to get my point across. You people for sucking the energy and forcing me to hold space for you when I just needed to be in my own space and have my own energy. And so I had to go into this, little bit of a pity party. And I know damn well pity parties don't work. I know damn well when I go into this space, it never serves me. I know this is what caused my fibromyalgia years ago, is just feeling responsible for everybody's happiness and feeling like I had to take care of everything, and then being pissed off about it and going into pity party mode. Pity party does not serve anybody, and it has never, ever served me. But with that same idea, when I go into the you people, if you people would stop and take care of your own damn energy, then my energy wouldn't get pulled. Well, it's the same situation with all of this. This is all that we're ever doing, is being mirrors for one another. So all of these people going, you people, it's because they can't deal with their own unrest. Like, I could not deal with my own emotions, so I want to take it out on somebody else. It's the whole, reading the 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, if you haven't already. The poison that was within me because I hadn't officially dealt with all the racism that I've had to deal with in my life. And as a light-skinned Black woman, so much less. And I can't even tell you, watching my brothers and the men that I've dated just literally been pulled over, ripped from their cars, guns pointed at their head, and saying, oh, sorry, wrong person. No apology, no nothing. Like, this is our norm. And just not dealing with my own stuff makes me want to attack and put it out on other people. And I get how all of this works. So I'm just using this as an example that this is what's happening in society, is we're all wanting to blame and take it on other people. And so I knew there's no way I could, because I had people reaching out, Dina, please do a live and help us work through this. And I'm just like, I don't have the flipping capacity to help anybody right now, because I was dealing with my own stuff. I know how this works. I had to honor my emotions, which I want all of you to do. Honor what you're feeling, but you cannot hang out there. You cannot hang out in that heaviness, because nobody benefits from it. You included, you number one. So the second thing I want you to do is, after you honor those emotions, feel it and then say, okay, what can I do now? What can I do to get out of this? So the second thing I would have you do is educate yourself. Educate yourself on what it is that you need to learn about. So some of it might be watching, some documentaries, or researching some things and putting yourself in different people's shoes. Just educate yourself in a way that feels good to you. And sometimes educating yourself may just be sitting still and observing other people through all of this. So that's the second thing I would say, is just educate yourself so that you are just a little bit more aware and you're not feeling as ignorant with any situation. Because sometimes we just know this much of the story. I mean, I'm so guilty of this too. I get this much of the story and then I get angry. But the more I educate myself and the more I understand, that helps to calm my energy more. That's the second thing. The third thing I would do is come back to center. That is, I'm always going to talk about that. Heart coherence, coming back into your body, getting out of that damn fight, flight, and freeze mode, coming back into your body where your power is. Nobody ever makes good decisions when we're in fight or flight. Nobody ever makes good decisions in anger, because it literally comes from your third chakra. It comes from fear. It comes from anger. It comes from guilt. God, don't go into the guilt. And there's no good decisions from this space. So when I say come back to center, allow yourself to just, here's actually an easy way to do it, is put one hand, it doesn't matter right or left, or we don't have to get spiritually technical. Some people will get this joke, but one hand on your heart and then one hand above your belly button on your third chakra. And then when you inhale, I want you to breathe and bring the oxygen up from the center of the earth, bring it up through all of your chakras. This, if you're not familiar, just the center of your body. And as you exhale, have it go out your head. Your next inhalation, from the universe, from source energy, whatever word you want to work, God, Allah, I don't care. And then have it go down your body. And as you exhale, feel it go out into the earth. And just do that like 2 or 3 times. You guys, this right here is a total game changer. When I'm really like worked up and out of my body, I will do this when I allow myself to, when I remember to. So this is a complete game changer. When we can come back to center, or even heart coherence, if you want to learn more about that, the Heart Math Institute is a great place to teach about heart coherence. And it's just coming back into your body, into your heart energy, where so much of your power is. You can make grounded, beautiful decisions from this place. And I know I've talked about this before. When you make decisions from fear or ego or obligation, you just get upset about it. So there's been situations where I had somebody ask me for a favor, and for whatever reason I feel obligated to that person. There was really no reason, but there must have been some, I don't know, subconscious guilt or something. And I did something for them, and then they didn't receive it the way I wanted them to. They actually, anyways, they didn't receive it the way I expected them to. And then I got upset. Well, I had to check in with myself. Well, did you give it from your heart, or did you give it from ego? Well, I obviously gave it from ego, or else I wouldn't be so upset. So now every time I go to do something for somebody, I always check in. And people will always say, Dina, if you can't do it, I'm like, oh, I got boundaries. I will tell you if I can't do it. I have to come from this place, and that's really what I want you guys to do. Could you imagine if so many of these cops, because you see them in fight or flight, they're ready. They are standing, they're ready for a fight because they're trying to protect themselves, and all the stories that they've been telling themselves and all the stuff they've been fed through media is insane. And you get it. This is where they're at. They're in this type of an energy. But if they could just pause and go, okay, wait, I'm actually really safe right now. These guys are having a peaceful protest. I don't need to take action right now. Let me just come back to center, come back to my heart. Could you imagine the difference? So I understand when you're going into a situation and you don't know what to expect, yeah, go into that fight or flight because that could keep you safe. But once you get into that situation, let's say it's domestic abuse, you get into that situation, you see everybody's safe, you feel the energy has calmed down, then you don't have to stay in that fight or flight. You can go, okay, it's safe for me to be in my body in this situation and have adult conversations with these people and help them to diffuse their energy. So this space is just so important. So obviously this is the most important part of my rambling, is to do your best to make heart-centered decisions. And then the final thing I would do, if you're up to it, is take action and allow this action to be whatever it is that works for you. I'm going to be blunt. When Trump was first elected, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't do anything, and was just in overwhelm. Like, what direction do I go into? Do I, go and help women's rights? Do I go and help environmental rights? Do I go and help Black rights? Do I go and help Mexican rights? It was just, I could have gone on, and all of my energy, by freaking out like that, all of my energy comes out of my body, and I'm not helping anybody when I'm not present in my body. When I can be present, that's when I make good decisions. So being present, coming from centered, what action can I take right now? Well, I got kids with crazy soccer schedules, so I'm gonna have to do something that's gonna work for me. I can, join this protest on that day, but I can't do anything else for the month. So I can make a donation to this organization that I really believe in, or I can hold space for this person who's having a difficult time. I can be there with a hug. I can be there with a smile. So when I say take action, only do what you have the capacity to do right now. And for some of you, that capacity is just to still sit and be still and feel your emotions. For others of you, you're out there on the front lines, and so appreciate you. Today, I'm actually going to go hold space for Elijah McClain in Aurora at 3 o'clock if anybody wants to join. But really just do what you can do. And when I say that, like, I literally have to be home to take care of a family at a certain time. So I'm not going to be able to hang out for a long time, but I can go and be present for a small amount of time. And in that small amount of time, I'm going to hold space from here, and that's going to feed my soul. And I will donate to an organization that feeds my soul, or whatever it is that I need to do. So I think that's it. I mean, I literally had so much going on and in my head, but this is me just letting stuff fly out of my face. So I hope this was helpful for some. You know what, the other thing I want to touch on is I recently had a client who, just beautiful, beautiful spirit, has someone in her family who's extremely prejudiced, and she was so upset about it, wanted the other family members to take action, and they weren't showing up the way she needed to. And then on top of that, she has all of this guilt. And as we're clearing this stuff and she's, releasing, she's just like, is this white guilt? I'm like, yeah, it sure is. Things that you just don't think of. But here's the deal. Guilt has never, ever, ever once served anybody. So if you're carrying guilt, you have to let it go. You have to feel it and breathe through it. And if you want me to do an EFT demonstration on guilt, I can definitely do that. Just let me know. But guilt has never served anyone. And if I, as a Black woman, need you to feel guilt because you didn't show up for me 3 years ago when I was pissed off sharing stuff, then that's mine. That's mine. Guilt has never once served anybody. I don't need anyone to feel bad for not knowing any better. And I know some people will see that as an excuse. They didn't want to know better and da da da. And you know what? You're right. They didn't. Who would? Who would want to feel how so many of us have been feeling, or how many, so many of you are feeling now that you haven't ever had to feel before? Who would want to go there? And really, it's what we put our time and energy on. So I'm not caught up in the news like I was, and it wasn't really news. I was more on Reddit watching some of the craziness unfold that is not being advertised in regular media. But all that does is just suck it from me. So I had to just come back to center in my own energy and focus on what I can. But when I was doing that, I was only focused on the good things that felt good to me. And that's how everyone else is doing it. We're only being focused on the things that feel good to us at the time. So blinders are up. Yeah, they are. But now so many blinders are down. So let's just honor where we are right now and move forward where we are right now. Like my favorite saying, if I could change the past, I could finally be happy. It doesn't work. The past can't be changed. We're right here, right now. What are we doing? I think that's it for now. I could probably talk for a long time. I love, adore, and appreciate you all. You guys, thank you so much for taking the time and hanging out with me. Stay blessed. And yeah, that's it. Stay blessed.